Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, first up, we are going to recognize our 2018 retirees. Do we want to start over here?
Sure.
Okay. Well, since John is being, recognized, Jack, why don't you do it?
I can shake their hands too.
All right, well, we have a little something for our retirees to thank you for all your years of service here in Monroe Public Schools. All of you will be sorely missed. It's our worst time of the year when we have to say goodbye to so many of our employees who have given so much to our school district over the years and made it as great as it is. We are very grateful to you and we wish you well in your future endeavors, and please come back and visit us. We'd love to have you back.
And on Thursday, we're going to have a celebration of all our retirees and with the staff from Monroe at the Waterview. So we'll have more time to celebrate and talk then.
Yeah.
But again, all the work that you've done, when I go through the list and look at the 14 retirees, every one of you have done so many special things in the district, and so the students are really the beneficiary of that. So we want to thank you all for that, and thank you for the time that you've supported me here, and it's been really a wonderful year for me, and I thank you all for that. So congratulations. So we're going to call you up and give you the ceremonial pewter plate. So I gave it away. I think everybody knows.
All right, Alice William.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'll just send it to you.
Oh, thanks. Perfect.
Picture.
Show the plate. Show the plate. Thank you.
Let me just grab one, and I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Oh,
No, you're good. You're good.
am I good?
Yeah, these are. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dave Connect.
Congrats, Steve. Thanks, Jack.
Congrats, Dave.
Thanks, Donna.
Who else was over there?
All right.
Congratulations.
I enjoyed it here. I miss all the faculty and the kids.
And the kids, right?
What do you think, you ready for a picture?
Picture.
You get a picture of
Sure.
you? Or no? Want me to hold that, or you got it? Here, one, I'll hang on to it, you can do your pivot.
All right. Let me sneak right around. like
Okay, you
this.
got it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Oh,
Did you get it?
I don't know. Wait a minute, something happened. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Shut off.
You want me to take one for you and send it to you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, well, let me just take another one just so you're, okay.
Thanks.
No problem. Just give me your email address.
I'll bring it back with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, here, write it down.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Me. No, I was waiting for that to get back. Mia Cueva. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Picture.
Let me take a picture for you.
Oh, that's okay.
Are you sure? Wait, you're ready. She's fast.
Lynn Costello.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Linda Batista.
Good.
Picture of the superintendent?
Yes, you do. I said we should have you come up last with him so it could be.
Just congratulations.
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 Thank you.
Sorry.
Mary Ann Cody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, Marianne.
Gail Carter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Vivian.
Vivian Siegel.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, I'm ready.
Didn't see you there.
Hold on. You're fine. Get it?
You're good.
You're good, John.
I like it.
You're coming Thursday, right? John Batista.
John Batista.
And can we do one picture with everyone, just so we can post it? Bring your plates, because it's a nice. And well, if you could stand over here, we'll do one picture. Yeah, like right over in here. Yep.
All right. Let them take that.
Gotta park a Jaguar in this lot.
Do you want me to hold that? That's good. Dave's nice and tall.
All right, gotta get this organized here. You're all
Good
over the
looking
place.
group.
Help us, help us.
She is totally uncovered. Yeah, she's totally on purpose, I feel. All right.
The last one.
Everybody look. Mom. Mom.
Mom.
All right. Everyone get one?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Let's just stick with me, because it's riveting.
It's riveting. Riveting.
Sorry, guys. We don't take it back.
You can have it. Oh, I'm gonna send it around.
We will see everybody on Thursday. Thank you so much.
Probably.
I know.
Here's your final
Yeah, she should stay for that.
Tell her to stay.
No, the rest of it. Well, like, Benefit Roof goes on. Had a hip replacement or a knee replacement.
All right, we will move on. Thank you so much again to all our retirees, and we will see you on Thursday night to celebrate in a nicer venue and a lot more time to celebrate than how quick we were this evening. We will move on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, David. Do I have a second? Thank you, Jerry. Any discussion? Do you want to talk about the one appointment?
Right, we do have one appointment on here. It is for the guidance counselor at Fawn Hollow, replacing Mia, who we just met, Alyssa Kregas. She has a really unique background. She has been a school psychologist for many years and just went back to get her counseling degree. So she's going to be a school counselor, but she does have the school psychologist background. So we think that that's a plus for her. She's worked in a couple of different districts. Currently, she's in Orange. So we are really happy with that find, because it's a difficult position to get filled. So we're happy with that.
Great, thank you. Do I have any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the consent agenda? Thank you, motion passes. Our MASIC reps are not here this evening. Does anybody have any other committee reports? All right, hearing none, we will move on to public participation. Wow, we are going really quick through this.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. We will move on to our report of the superintendent.
Okay, Jack's going to talk a little bit about the Board of Ed professional development for next year. I just want to let you know about staffing for 1 second. We are still looking to hire the Jack Allen math position. We have not found anyone at this point. We're looking very hard. And the second grade position at Stepney Elementary School. And we did advertise today the educational technology teacher, so we're waiting for that to close before we do that. And those other two positions that we have in the budget, we're waiting until June 11th to talk about where best to put those positions. So we're going to talk a little bit about class sizes in a minute, but that's where we are with hiring.
So with professional development for the Board of Ed, if you take a look at page 3 in your packet, you'll see a draft list for the board's consideration. We looked at previous year's lists and also considered some other topics that the board might be interested in. This is presented for discussion. So what we have here is in October, a review of the goals and action plan, and update on that. There'll be work going on in August with the administrators and some teacher representatives creating the action plan part of the goals that we created with the board. November, the student data presentation that we've had historically. December, a presentation on budget and insurance. January, freedom of information with a rep from the FOIA office. February, SRBI. March, demographics. We thought it might be interesting for the board to take another look at where we are with growth and changes in student population across the district. Special education in April, and a technology presentation in May. So we can make any changes or add or delete topics that you may choose.
I think we should add board member, and maybe we can do the September board member roles and responsibilities.
Will do.
How is it? What about everybody else? Is everybody else good with those?
Sounds fun. Sounds good, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Come up with the topics that are part of your self-evaluation.
Yep, perfect.
SRBI and special ed or something.
Great.
Okay, school enrollment. In your place is the updated as of this morning enrollment for each grade level, and elementary we went by schools. So you can see that for next year, based on today's enrollment in the schools and based on what next year's enrollment is projected to be, Fawn Hollow is going to be down 8 students. Unfortunately, it's not. I wish it was more spread out, but I wish it wasn't as spread out as it is. So you can see that first grade has 94 students, and that's pretty large for a first grade class. So right now the class sizes are 23 and 24. and we haven't even started the summer. So that's something, when I talked about those two positions that we have, that might be some place that we need to put that. They're down 8 students. Stephanie's down 23 students. However, their kindergarten is up to 62 students, which is a class sizes of 20 and 21. Again, not a problem at 20 and 21, but we haven't even started the summer. And so we're watching that one. And Monroe Elementary School's down 10 students. However, remember we had planned to move a teacher from Monroe Al, but you can see the 3rd grade is 24 and 25, so that might be a place that we put that teacher back in. So we're looking at, it's very fluid in elementary school. We have a meeting on June 11th. All the elementary principals want to have their staffs, or at least the staffing set, so that they can, when they have the stepping up with their students, that the students know who the teachers are. But we're going to do the best that we can, and hopefully on June 11th we'll be able to move forward with it. And you can see that Jockey Hollow next year is up 11 students, and Massac is down 9 students. So we're pretty stale, pretty stagnant at this point as far as numbers are concerned. But we were projected to lose, remember, we were projected to lose 100 students a year, and that's just not happening. So it is something that we will have to keep watching. Okay, so that's enrollment. We just wanted to keep you updated on that. I know Jack will talk to you again in the July meeting, because that'll be when, we have to finalize this.
Right. What is our normal pickup during the summer with students?
The elementary schools, it varies every year. And Jack, you picked up a lot.
2 summers.
Yeah, how many did you pick up in?
20 to we were close to 30 last summer.
Right.
I should say by October 1.
Yeah.
Over the summer into September, we got close to 30. The summer before was in the 20s.
And elementary picks up a few kindergarten here and there for people
Right.
who are just moving in or haven't really thought about it until the summer. So there is some pickup in the summer. So that's what we're worried about, these classes.
Absolutely, yeah, because quite honestly, we could pick up in all of these different areas that you have highlighted, and could put us really close to, in some of them close to, high 20s, reaching 30.
Right. I mean, that's the problem with Monroe L. There's only 2 sections. So right now, there's one section of 24 and one section of 25. They get another student, there's 2 sections of 25. They get 2 more students, we go up to
Right.
26. So Monroe L is more difficult because it has only a couple of sections. So it's something we have to look at.
Right.
Yeah, 23 in the 1st grade classroom is kind of
Yeah,
high.
yeah, 23, 24. Yeah, there's one of the 24. Yeah, we believe that too.
Yeah, those, I guess we'll also see how the summer goes along, because, we do have in the past had a lot of pickup during
Yeah.
the summer.
Yeah, I think, if it picks up in Jockey Allen and Massac, we'll be able to, because there's so many classes, we'll be able to
Right.
manage that.
Right, it's the
these
elementary.
elementaries that scarce. And actually, Jack and I have been looking at every month. We meet with the administrators at our meeting, and this is the first thing we go over is enrollment. So. Okay?
Great,
That's
thank
it.
you. Anybody have any other questions for John? In his last superintendent report?
I know that was my last. I should have had something a little bit more exciting.
All right. We'll let him talk at the end. We will move on to old business. We have 2 policies up for a second review and a vote. The first one is 5142, which is the student safety one, and the second one is 6154, which is the homework policy one that we had a presentation on last meeting 2 weeks ago. Do I have a motion to approve policy 5142, student safety, and policy 6154, homework, as presented? Thank you, Jerry. Do I have a second? Thank you, Christine. Any discussion on those 2?
Can I say that?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of discussion, especially in social media, on the homework policy. I just want to thank our parent rep, Pam, who really kind of set the record straight in a lot of areas where people were incorrect in some of the things that they were saying. You've been a great voice for us, and we appreciate you being on the committee and your perspective on the committee, and now supporting the policy that you helped develop. So, thank you for that. I know it was a lot of work, and probably you had better things to spend your Thursdays doing, but we appreciate you doing that.
Great. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Great, thank you. Motion passes. We will move on to new business. We have our 2018-19 rates and fee schedule for tuition fees, facility use fees. Do I have a motion to approve those, and then we'll have discussion on them? Thank you, David. Thank you, Jerry, for a second. Gabby, do you want to speak about these fees?
Sure, pretty much everything has been kept the same. The only place where we're really raising things are some of the tuitions regarding preschool tuition, special ed tuition, and the non-resident student bus tuition, and special ed programs. They're all tied to our per pupil that were given by the state. And the preschool tuition, the increases are really related to the teacher's contract increases. And then the only other thing that's going up a little bit are the lunch prices, and they're minimal. They range between 15 and 25 cents, and it's just to recoup costs as prices of food continue to go up. And that's really about it.
Was that a recommendation from Sodexo to raise the prices?
We do actually something called it's called paid equity lunch. It's actually a formula that's put out by the federal government. And it allows us to rate, we plug in our costs, we plug in our current pricing, and it allows us to raise our prices by this amount. So it's not just a feeling by the breeze type thing, but
Okay.
it does allow us to cover our costs.
Remember, you have a policy now that says that we don't have to change the policy every time we do this. We just, at this board meeting, we just set the rates. The policy specifically talks about that. Before that policy, we had to create a new policy every year with these rates in them. So the policy says, refer to the first board meeting in June for the rates.
When's the last time we had raised prices?
For lunches, I think
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Jay?
John, I asked a question, or maybe to a Joe, if he's still here. Can you explain to me the fine for parking at Massac? I understand the fee. Explain how the fine works.
Joe, you want to?
It's a good question. Kids sit there parked in faculty spots, that have their pass, or if kids don't have their pass, we do an obligation. We don't give them a $10 fine. We stopped doing that because it was kind of crazy. Kids are like, I can get caught 12 times before.
Yeah.
I have to have $10 a piece. So what we do is the first time we catch them, we give them an obligation for the parking fee. So $125.
Cool.
And then any subsequent infractions after that, they accrue the $10.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Jeff? All right, motion passes. We are actually at the end of our agenda, and wow, we went fast, but it was a light agenda this evening. And I know John would like to speak, given that this is his last meeting and that he's retiring.
Yeah, I would like to speak. Thank you, Donna. It's funny, this week I had a call from the first superintendent, Peter Burrell, who hired me 35 years ago. And it was really very interesting to have a conversation with him and all the things that he's done and talk about the things that I've done. I'm having dinner with Norm Michaud, who was a superintendent when I became an administrator, when we go to the Cape this summer, when we see him every year. So Monroe has always been, even the people who have left, have always been in my heart. And I want to thank all the boards, because the boards have been supportive of me throughout the years, but I especially want to thank this board for giving me this opportunity for this year. You knew it was 1 year. You didn't know what you were going to get necessarily as superintendent, but I really appreciated you being so supportive, and that's what I felt. And you had confidence in me, and I really appreciated that. And I felt it every day. And Donna is a great leader, and I'll say that to anybody that will listen to me. She's always there. I could call her for anything, especially during those weather and hurricane days. I won't say she put a lot of pressure on me during those days, but she always knew that it wasn't an easy thing to do, and so she was very understanding when I said, I'm sorry, we have to close. And we were talking today before, I would do those voice messages, and some people thought that it was some days it was very sad that I was talking about that there was no school, and I would get comments on Facebook, of course, about, it looks like somebody shot his dog today, things like that. But you know what, it really was painstaking. Jack was on the call, Gabby was on the call, we were all together, Joe was on the calls this year too. And it was painstaking. We didn't really want to do it, and we didn't figure, how to do it, and so that was probably the most difficult part. But the parents were very supportive, and were always there, either to make a comment, positive or negative, but we're always there supportive. So I really appreciated that too. And again, Donna has been just a great leader. 35 years is a long time to be in any district, and I hope that I've contributed to the district, and I've heard from people, and that makes me feel really good. But it is because of the staff that we have that this place is a great place. And you can see it. You can see it when we have 4 p.m. Curriculum council meetings at night, and there's 50 people who come. You can see it, the people who volunteer for the road races or anything else that we have. So this is a great staff, and I've gotten a lot. And I've received so much from this town. I've grown as a leader. There's no doubt about that. And you've all provided me opportunities for personal growth too. My ability to talk in front of groups and just getting to know people. So I really appreciate that. And it's giving me lasting and meaningful friendships that I'll never forget. And I think it's more than just these are my colleagues, these are my friends too. And they work so hard for the betterment of the kids. So leaving will be hard, I know that. But I'm confident in our leadership team. Jack and Joe will move this district forward in countless ways. They are great people, and who they have with them are the instructional leaders and the other administrators. This district is going to continue to grow, and I'm proud to be part of it, and I will always be part of it in my heart. I do want to leave with a quote. I do like quotes, and people make fun of me for that, but I do like quotes, and this is one of the quotes that I found that really speaks to me. You may not always end up where you thought you were going, but you will always end up where you're meant to be. And so I believe Monroe is where I'm meant to be. And so I want to thank you all for that, and it has been a good run. And Batista's gone.
Thank you, John. You are going to be very missed. And there was no song? Like you started the year with the song.
I thought I would not end it with one.
You never know. Maybe Thursday night.
Maybe Thursday night.
Maybe.
Because that was sensational. Start with the song. We should have a song to end.
Yes.
But John has to sing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait on that. It might not be sensational.
At first it's like, yeah. No, we thank you very much. I mean, we wish you would have stayed longer than the 1 year as superintendent, but we certainly understand after 35 years you want to move on and retire and have a great rest of your life, and we wish you well in that, and we hope you find some endeavor. It better not be going to another school district.
Not sure you have to worry about that.
But we hope you and Belinda have a great life and in your retirement, and travel a lot and have a lot of fun, and don't forget about us and come back.
Never.
And see us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? No? All right, well, we'll roast you on Thursday.
Okay. There we go.
Do I have a motion to adjourn then? Thank you, second. Thank you. All in favor? And John's last meeting is concluded.
Concluded. Yeah.
I know, really.
Yeah, I mean.